We are playing Alien tonight by Free League Publishing. It is a game of science fiction horror, so you can expect a lot of darkness and destruction and death. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just going to be a quaint little pastoral game, like I said earlier. Before we plunge into this wholeheartedly, is everybody ready? Can I get some thumbs up? All right. Before we plunge into this, I'd like to bring you, my friends, a word from our sponsor. We are a sponsor. Yes, we have a sponsor now. TED Talk. TED Talk are sponsoring us here tonight, and they've asked us to play this little clip for you. So, without further ado, Miko, if you would.
In his now infamous TED Talk, our founder, Peter Weyland, invoked the Titan Prometheus and declared, perhaps a little too hastily, that we now were the gods. Now, my dear father is no longer with us. So much for gods. But what does remain is my father's legacy. Our Prometheus project may have borne little fruit, but we remain steadfast in our desire and hope to crack the enigma that is us, humanity, why we are here, and how we came to be. And as we remain dedicated to this legacy of my father's, we acknowledge that this is a question we may never be able to answer, perhaps even one we should not be able to. Answers rob us of magic, the magic and wonder of the world, of the cosmos, of life. Without magic and wonder, we lose the impetus dream, and dreams are ultimately what took us to the stars in the first place. Let us dream then, I say, for in dreams lie the reasons for the quest, if not its answer, and sometimes a reason is all you need. For those who know me, you will know my father's legacy is but a jumping-off point from which I intend to continue the grand work of dreamers, those who have forever pushed our boundaries and expanded our worlds. For those of you who do not know me, allow me to introduce myself. I am Meredith Vickers, and my vision and my goals are truly the stuff of dreams.
Meredith Vickers. I'm sure we can trust her. I'm sure we can all trust her.
Yeah.
My friends, some words from Lord Byron. Titan, to thee the strife was given between the suffering and the will, which torture where they cannot kill, and the inexorable heaven and the deaf tyranny of fate, the ruling principle of hate, which for its pleasure doth create the things it may annihilate, refused thee even the boon to die. The wretched gift, eternity, was thine, and thou hast borne it well. We open tonight aboard the deep space transport Archangel, a Weyland-Yutani ship, on its way to the planet Hades 4. Planet Hades 4 is very important to Weyland-Yutani. It is a planet that is currently being terraformed because it is completely uninhabitable due to extreme weather and a noxious atmosphere. However, recently the terraforming units, the Emir terraforming units, ceased functioning, and the two androids who are stationed on the planet to maintain the facility, Calvert and Prima, have also disappeared. Weyland-Yutani has assembled a team, a rapid response team of specialists, and deployed them to Hades 4 to ascertain the situation and try to get the terraforming units back to life. Your ship hurtles through the space, heading towards Hades 4. Inside the ship, everything is quiet. Faint jazz music can be heard playing. The android Delphi, who has been monitoring the ship during your long sleep, responds to a message from Mother, the ship's computer, that it is now time to awaken the crew. Delphi stands from where she is sitting at the control deck, makes her way down into the stasis chamber, where all 4 of you are asleep in your stasis pod. You are already all beginning to stir. Each of you, as you begin to awaken from your stasis, have this strange feeling you've never experienced before. The feeling that you dreamed while you were in stasis, which is not supposed to happen. Perhaps more disturbingly, each of you dreamt of your death. All of them were very violent, very upsetting, very abnormal, let's say. As you awaken, you have this lingering feeling of having seen your death, but you can't quite put the finger exactly on how it happened in your dream. But you're all shaken. The captain of the ship, call sign Phoenix, was the first one to awaken. You wake up, Hector, and see Delphi's face as she smiles at you and is pushing some buttons on your stasis pod to release you. The glass partition slides open. You breathe your first breath of fresh air in a few weeks. Hello, Captain. Your vital signs are showing very strong. I do detect some abnormal cerebral activity just prior to awakening. Did you experience any sort of discomfort?
Yeah, my neck's a little stiff. I think I was having a bad dream. Sorry.
Well, I will log this activity and we will have the specialists look into it. Who would you like me to awaken next?
Let's go with Wrench. We might have to do a diagnostic on the ship, so let's make sure Wrench is up.
Yeah, absolutely. There were no issues recorded during the flight. I have here, and she hands you a data pad. I have here all the flight records. I think you'll find the ship in perfect working condition, with nary a stitch in the programming. She hands you a little cup, little sippy cup with a straw. Have this. It will help. Will help manage the status shock. She moves over to Wrench's pod, pushes a couple buttons. Wrench, your eyes open. Just as the glass opens, you see Delphi looking at you, smiling down. Mr. McMasters, how are you feeling?
You ever smoke a bowl so hard that it just instantly dries out every part of your mouth?
I don't believe I have, no.
Yeah, that's fair. Yep, all right. Get me the drinky drink. The good drinky drink.
She hands you a sippy cup.
Sippy cup.
You have a little bit of fluid here on your chin.
Thanks, Mom.
You hear the computer say, "You're welcome, Mr. McMasters."
Wasn't talking to you.
My apologies, Mr. McMasters.
Who's awake?
Next up, sorry.
I'm awake.
Oh, God. Okay.
Cliff Reich. Your eyes come open. As they do, you see something strange. You don't see Delphi's face. You see another face. It takes a little moment to place it, but when you do, for a moment, Delphi resembles Prima, one of the androids that's gone missing. You've seen their file. They don't look anything alike. It's just for a moment, as Delphi leans over you, she's awakening you in a pod, you get the sense that it's not her, it's Prima. And she reaches down and grabs you by the throat and starts to squeeze. And you feel your neck muscles and the bones in your neck start to crunch and pop. And then all of a sudden, it's Delphi. Are you okay? Do you have a doctor title, Jacqueline?
I think technically they do, but I don't think anyone would use it. It's more of a PhD. I mean, if
she probably would.
Yeah, I think she would probably be the only one to probably use it, but yeah.
Dr. Reich, I'm showing increased signs of cerebral activity here and heart rate going up. Are you feeling quite all right? Do you require a shot?
No, I'm fine. Just a bad awakening. It happens every now and then.
You don't have a history of them, but you've also not flown that often.
That's true.
Well, the good news is that we're not crashing.
Perfect.
I'll go get the doctor.
Yes. Tell him I say hello.
I will. Dr. Ramos, you, similarly to the others, have been experiencing a strange dream having to do with your death, but in your dream, you find yourself in an airlock that you remember well from a previous encounter that you had, one that's left you probably marked with some degree of PTSD, and which led to the recent difficulties you had in keeping your title of doctor and your position. All of this, of course, has been resolved successfully, and you have been allowed to keep your practice. But as you awaken and see Delphi's face smiling at you, you kind of feel like you've been back visiting those memories, those moments of yours. You seem a little pale, Doctor. Would you care to self-diagnose?
I will just sit right up and just start yelling out obscenities because of just of my dream, and then immediately go to one of the computer systems and be like, and just say, I don't know what has gone on while we've been asleep, and then I'm just going to start it'll just trail off from there as I'm like trying to see if there's any sort of issues myself that may have popped up.
You do a quick self-assessment. She hands you a data pad that has like all your vitals and all that stuff on it. You look at it. You do notice that you went into an REM state and did hit a dreaming phase that was very, very short. It was maybe 7 seconds long, just before you were awakened. When you scroll through and get the vitals from everybody else, you see that everybody else did the same.
Huh, that's strange. We're not supposed to do that. Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Are you okay, Doctor?
I am okay. Nothing is wrong. We'll figure it out. Probably just something. I don't know. I'll work it. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's quite all right. Please don't apologize to me. I've prepared the mess with all your favorite awakening foods. Everything is ready and waiting for you. I will be in the cockpit once you're ready to take command of the ship, Captain. Welcome back, everybody. The four of you find yourselves moments later in the mess hall, nuking some food, prepping whatever it is that you like to eat when you first get out of stasis. You haven't been in stasis very long. It was only a few weeks, but it still always kind of messes with you. But you've done your checks. Everything seems all right with the ship. The doctor has looked over everyone. Aside from that weird little dream spike, everybody seems to be doing okay. And you are hanging around the mess hall table, chowing down.
I think for me, like as we're kind of like nodding down, I will keep a little bit of distance away from Cliff. There will be that nod of just like, I acknowledge your presence, but I will just be eating my food.
I think that
give us a little description of your catchers, perhaps, as you are chowing down and what it is that you're eating.
That's fair. I think for Ben, you'll see that he has dark bags like under his eyes. He stands roughly about 5'8", dark tan skin, but his hair is a little messy from the long sleep. He looks like he needs a little bit of a shave, little stubble. But right now he's just in kind of comfortable clothes. He is fit. And he mostly just kind of keeps he has like a little side kit of like a little medic's bag, just kind of like on his hip, ready to go.
Excellent. Who would like to go next? I nominate Kurt.
Yeah, very well. All right then. So Norris just kind of walks in behind Ben, and you can hear a very audible bubbling sound across water, and a couple of coughs. And he's like, "Oh man, cornbread, yeah." And he sits down and he's just like, "Right, cornbread. All right, here we go." And you see him. He's got like a 3-day-old beard. He's wearing very much like what corporate gave him. He's got his branded Weyland-Yutani shirt. He's got his orange worker pants on. He's got a tool belt rigging around his waist. Safety glasses that never seem to touch his face, even when dealing with an arc welder. And his hands are always, like, no matter how clean he tries to get them, they're always just the slightly bit tinged brown due to the oil color, because he's a mechanic. This is what he does, right? And he's just like, and like you would see his kind of like, you just got out of cryo, how are your hands dirty already kind of hands reaching into the cornbread bowl, and like, man, cornbread, it's good for you, son, eat it. Ah. And he just starts munching down on it.
Smells good there, Wrench.
The bread or the other stuff? The other stuff came from Atara 7. It's like primo. I'll hook you up, Doc. Medicinal only, though.
I'm good. I'll pass. It just was
You
still
look like you had a rough sleep. I'm just saying.
I had a little bit, but like I said, I'm just waiting on the caffeine and everything to kick in before I'm back to my old cheery self.
Your caffeine will kill you. It races the heart and everything. Then he just goes back to like eating the cornbread.
Strolling in on this conversation, Cliff comes in to the mess hall, long legs, pristine suit, perfect cropped bob, just like corporate shrill vibes. And as they walk in, they address our Wrench. Mr. McMasters, you know you're not allowed to do that in the mess hall, right?
Like, don't mean to be a dick, but
you're like, going to be.
Yeah, because you can't fire me. That's the great part. Not a doctor. And he goes back to just eating.
And they sit down as far away from Wrench as possible and pull out what looks like a granola bar, but is just like protein crud just in a long tube, and pulls out their PDA and starts, you can just see like data on their phone as they nibble and go about their business.
You know, there's actual food that you can grab, Cliff.
Yeah, this does. Thank you, though.
You're welcome.
Hector will walk in. He's already got his bomber jacket on. He's already ready to control the ship. He's looking at his data pad, and you can see the the reflection of the data pad over his glasses as he's looking over the manifest of who's supposed to be on this damn ship, and notices as he looks down, checks it a couple of times. Yeah, he sees the grease stain. He sees the doctor. Looks back on flips the data pad around again, make sure it's not broken, and looks very slowly up towards Cliff. And kind of gives them a slight acknowledging glance. It's kind of mixed between half disapproval and half surprise. Just kind of grunts to himself and goes and sits down and pours some coffee black, and sits across from the dock and close enough to smell the cornbread, and just continues to read the data pad.
As a lot of you are sitting there starting to enjoy your food, Delphi comes back into the mess hall and says, "We are about to begin our final approach on Hades 4, Captain. Would you like to come up to the bridge?"
Yes, I would.
As you head back upstairs, a lot of you are not necessary to the landing procedure, but you know that you'll be expected to be buckling in as soon, so you're trying to just finish up your meals, trying to get the last few little bits of coffee in before before you need to move on and get ready for that. As you are moving towards the bridge of the ship, Captain, Delphi says, "We have been tracking a meteor shower that's coming up on the nadir side of the planet. We don't expect to encounter any problems with it. However, it is close to where the landing beacon is. It's in the trajectory. We're going to have to make a slight detour to avoid it."
All right, do whatever we have to do to avoid any kind of potential impact. So how long will it delay our landing?
No more than 7 minutes.
No, 7 minutes we can do.
As you go back to the front of the ship and take control of the ship, the voice of Mother, the computer, comes on the various screens throughout the ship. An image of Hades 4, the planet you are heading towards, appears. It is a very strange-looking planet, entirely white except for a section of it, which is blood red. From the briefing, you know that this is the area where the Emir terraforming units are. And the action that they're performing is creating this sort of red, dense, reddish cloud in that particular section. It does prevent you from landing directly at the station itself. You have to land on the other side of a mountain range, but there is both a tunnel that leads through that mountain range directly into the base itself, and you do have a vehicle on the ship, and what's called an ox, which is a sort of all-terrain vehicle that you'll be piloting and driving to get there. As you are all getting ready for landing, Mother, the computer, is telling you the following information. Hades 4 is a desolate, frozen world, lurking on the outer edges of the star system. Shrouded in an eternal icy grip, its surface is a vast expanse of ice and snow, stretching as far as the eye can see, broken only by jagged peaks and deep crevices. The atmosphere of Hades 4 is noxious and toxic, composed primarily of sulfur dioxide and methane, with traces of other volatile compounds that make it incredibly hostile to any form of life as we know it. Toxic clouds swirl ominously in the sky, occasionally unleashing violent storms, freezing rain and hail that scour the icy plains below. Temperatures on Hades 4 plummet to bone-chilling extremes, with average lows reaching well below minus 100 degrees Celsius. No clue what that is in Fahrenheit. These frigid conditions render the very air solid, causing even the hardiest of machinery to falter and fail under the relentless assault of the cold. It took Weyland-Yutani engineers several years to build terraforming engines that could survive and operate in this climate. They were successful once they decided to partially bury the engines into the ground. You are approaching the planet. A lot of you are finishing up your lunches, your breakfast, if you will, in the mess hall, when suddenly, throughout the ship, a warning sound begins to emit as Mother warns everyone to find their seats and to basically to buckle in. The warning is blaring like a klaxon throughout the entire ship. The screens are turning red with the warning sign. Mother's voice comes online. Captain, we are nearing the meteor shower, which seems to have switched or shifted directions in its path and is heading straight for us. I advise immediate evasive maneuvers.
Copy that. He will turn on the comm.
Everyone buckle in. We're going to be possible impact. Everyone buckle in.
And he'll turn and, strap in and put his glasses firmly on and try to do something evasive.
All right. So I'm going to need each of you to make a roll. All right. So we'll start with Hector. You are going to be making your piloting roll, which means you will roll your agility plus your piloting. I will say that everyone is probably kicking in at 1 stress right now. So you can add stress to a stress die, add a point of stress to your sheet, and you can add a stress die. Make sure the stress die is a different color that you know which one it is, because if you roll a 1 on your stress die, terrible things happen.
And which die are we rolling?
D6s.
D6.
So that's how many dice we're rolling?
Yeah, so it's your skill plus your attribute plus the stress die. In your case, everybody else, so Hector will be making a piloting skill roll. Everybody else, I will ask you to make a mobility roll. So your agility plus your mobility to see if you manage to get to a secure buckling in place before anything sort of happens. So you're looking for at least 1 6.
I've rolled 2 6s.
All right, excellent. You immediately take control of the ship, and with your, expertise, manage to avoid it. It's really just the outer edges of the meteor shower that had kind of drifted away from the rest of the shower itself. But you manage to evade it fairly successfully. However, the ship does kind of buck a little bit. So did anyone not get any successes? All right, so the doctor manages to right away find a seat and buckle himself in. The two of you, as you're reaching for your seats, the ship already kind of sort of takes a little bit to the side, and you're trying to grab a hold of the thing and kind of buckle in. You will not take damage from this, but you are sort of jostled around and kind of pitch forward before you can kind of climb back up. So we'll see you get a 2nd point of stress. Instead of damage. It doesn't really damage you, but you can feel your heart pumping, and you can, you feel really on edge about it. However, moments later, the alarm stops, and Mother's voice comes back online and says, "Excellent piloting, Captain. The ship has suffered no damage."
All right, good to hear. It's just minor turbulence, I guess.
We're reading the beacon loud and clear. Would you like to prepare approach?
Yes, let's go ahead and let's start our landing sequence.
Excellent. We are coming in on vector 774. Warning, impact imminent, and suddenly the ship is rocked as something clips the tip of its wing. The ship itself, you feel it jostle forward and sort of kind of canter over onto the side. The readings are coming in. The engine on the right side has taken some damage. What you see, Hector, as you look out the side of the window, you see what appear to be remnants of another ship floating in the air, and you've just clipped one of it, and part of it has gone into the engine and ripped it out. The ship is starting to beginning its descent, but it's going way too quick. You're doing what you can to try and get in at the right angle to get into the atmosphere. You are managing to sort of keep it towards the beacon, but the ship is coming in really hot. So I would like you, mein Freund, You're going to make me another piloting roll. Now, up to three other characters can assist you in some way, shape, or form. So Delphi will assist you. So that's an extra die that you can roll. Does anybody else have any piloting experience?
Can I heckle him, having this be the second crash that he's obviously going to put me in?
What do you say?
Man, not again! Like, for real, dude. You're batting 1,000 here. Come on.
Everyone buckle up. We've just made impact.
Again? What?
I rolled 3 6s with my piloting.
Ooh, excellent. So
as he flicks off a wrench from behind the pilot seat, he's like, "Fuck you."
I will ask all of you to do a panic check roll. So you're going to roll 1d6 and you're going to add your stress level to the roll.
Zero successes.
No, sorry, just add a d6 and add your stress level to it. And tell me what's the number you get.
So, like, if I have 2 stress levels, I add
So d6
plus 2. Okay,
Yeah.
I got a 7.
Okay.
3.
Justin?
So it's just our stress die, correct?
Yeah, so you roll a d6 and add your stress level.
Roll d6 plus stress level, so that's an 8.
8, all right. As the ship sort of, as the captain managed to take control of the ship again, and it kind of rights itself, both Wrench and the captain are cool as cucumbers. Both of you, Doctor and Doctor, the Doctor has disappeared. She's been sucked out of the window again. As the ship rights itself, you have a moment where you're like, okay, we're going to be fine. Jacqueline, so as the ship rights itself, you have a moment, you and the other Doctor have a moment where you're like, okay, we're going to be fine. And then you look at each other, and both of you at the same time, you realize that you're in space. And if anything would have breached the hull of the ship, you were dead. There is no survival. It's not like a plane where you can kind of have hopes of crashing and surviving the crash. This is like, it hits you. That reality hits you, and that panic settles in deep into your core, and you start panicking as you're looking at each other, and the other one's panicking, and now you're panicking also, and the two of you start to panic. It's starting to build up. Norris, you notice this. You notice the two of them, kind of, the panic is starting to fucking like grab hold of them. What would you like to do?
First time?
Try not to die again.
Does this happen every time he drives a ship?
Well, it's not really driving. It's more like flying. But,
It's not doing that really well.
Nah, man. They call him the Crash Hawk. It's great.
That's not a great nickname to have right now.
That is not helping.
Well, listen, I've lived every time he crashed. I don't know what you're worried about.
It was one time.
A data point of 1 is just that. 1 data point.
Keep talking. I'm not going to actually want to crash now.
If you're going to do it, just make it quick.
All right, everyone assume the positions.
Arms up. Let's go.
You will give me, Adrian, did you make your second piloting roll?
Yes, I made
3 6s.
3 6s, yeah.
So with skill, you do manage to stay on the beacon. You do manage to keep the ship relatively in good position. The readings are coming in. Delphi's integrating some stuff. She's bringing you information. You're getting the clear feeling that you're going to need some pretty extensive repairs in order to be able to take off, but you should be able to land this thing without too much of an issue. What's surprising you is the fact that there were debris from a ship around here, because there's not supposed to be any ship at all in this area and so on and so forth, but there was clearly ship debris that you crashed into. You will manage to make your approach on the planet, and as you breach the atmosphere, you will see over in the distance a mountain chain, and above it this kind of reddish cloud that is just kind of hovering over the entire thing. The land beneath you is just this jagged, icy wasteland. That's literally all it is. It's just these huge ice claws that come out, cracked ice. It's not even snow. Like, it's too cold for snow. It doesn't snow here. It's literally just everything is just encrusted with ice. The readings on the ship for the atmosphere tell you that if you are 1 second outside, if you take one breath, you're dead. This place is entirely inhospitable. So as you manage to start bringing the ship in, and with some skill with your 666 managed to land it fairly nicely onto the landing pad that's provided there near the beacon, Delphi is coming around to the lot of you in the back, and she's seeing that the two of you are starting to panic a little bit, and we'll bring each of you some water, and we'll sort of talk to you a little bit. Meanwhile, Wrench, you know you got to get the suits ready for everyone, because everyone needs to get into those suits in order to survive here, but also get the aux ready, the vehicle. You land safely, not too much of a problem. You're checking the ship. Wrench, you're going to go and start prepping the suits and get the aux ready. Delphi is talking to the two of you, the two doctors, and she will be just talking very calmly to you, trying to get you to calm down a little bit. I'll have her make a roll to see if she can reduce your stress.
Can I assist with this?
Yeah, you can. You can roll command.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hades 4, where the temperature is negative 100 Celsius. Thank you very much for flying the Archangel. We hope to see you on our next flight.
Just trying to crack a joke, just to kind of like, hey, this was really stressful, but we made it, that kind of thing.
Another happy landing, Hector. Another happy landing.
And he will tap on his little hula. He has got a little hula girl on his console there, and it's like where he always says a little silent prayer to anytime he crashes. So he taps her on her little hula skirt and sits back for a second,
just to make sure.
There'll be a little chuckle, and I'll just say, "You son of a bitch."
You will, without a doubt, thanks to Delphi and thanks to this little joke from the captain, and Delphi rolled a success on her command thing, so she'll talk both of you down. You can each reduce your stress by 1 point, and you'll come out of the panic that you were suffering. Moments later, perhaps 30 minutes or so, you've all gathered your stuff. You've gotten into the suits with the help of Wrench. The aux is ready to roll. You all climb aboard. Delphi is coming with you. She's punching in some directions into the nav thing. You're going to be going across the sort of tundra and then into a tunnel. And through the tunnel, you will be then eventually getting into the sort of ravine where the Acheron terraforming station is. And a lot of you get aboard the vehicle, get all your stuff in there. The captain takes control of the vehicle and you take off. You're in these big suits, these big, ginormous, fully enclosed suits. There's just enough room to fit all of you and all your gear in the vehicle. As you are driving over to the area, Delphi will be giving you some of the information that you got originally in your briefing. So the idea, she will say, give me 1 second. We will be heading to the Emir, to the Acheron terraforming station through the Colton Trail, which is a northern tunnel that leads into the ravine where the Emir terraforming units are. The tunnel is large enough to accommodate the Ox, so we will not need to be doing any walking today. The base was manned by 2 androids, one called Calvert, who was a technical maintenance android, and one called Prima, who was a specialist android in environmental mechanics. The contact with the 2 androids manning the tender unit stopped several weeks ago. We've since then not had any contact with anyone from the base. We do know the terraforming units are offline. We don't know what caused this. But your mission here is to investigate the disappearance of the androids, but also to get the terraforming units working again as fast as possible. Because, of course, the company is losing a lot of money every day that these units are not performing. Now, Captain, I've reviewed the logs from the Acheron station. It appears that they have several options for us. They do have a ship available there for us to use if the Archangel should prove to be unusable.
Was that the ship that we crashed into on our way here?
No, the debris from the ship that we crashed into was a different ship than the one they have here. It was one, I would say, in a class similar to that of the Acheron, a deep space transport ship. It did not have any markings or beacons that we could pick up that could tell us what it was.
Roger.
You eventually arrive at the northern pass where the Colton tunnel, the Colton Trail opens up. The thing that you notice about this place is just how inhospitable it is. It is actually very difficult, almost impossible for y'all to fathom how any terraforming could make this place viable. The readings for the air are off the charts. There's no way, like, it's going to take, as far as you can tell, it's going to take decades, maybe even 100 years or more to terraform this place to a degree that is not completely antithetical to life. The land itself it's not land. It's literally just, if you were to take like a big bucket of ice cube and just jam all the ice cubes together, it's just these jagged crevices and these weird angles, and there's nothing here that tells you could support life. This is clearly just a commercial mining endeavor by the company. There's no way this place could ever support any sort of life. You enter the tunnel. The tunnel itself is clear. There are metal tracks on the floor. There are lights that are still on that drive you, and as you're driving it, you start going up along this tunnel. About halfway up, you come around the corner, Hector, and you stop suddenly. In front of you is a vehicle very similar to the one that you have, and it's kind of positioned kind of sideways a little bit, and it's kind of blocking the way through. It's obviously been damaged, as like one of the corners is really kind of, angled down. There are no lights, and there don't appear to be anyone in there.
Hector will click on one of the fog lights to shine a brighter light on the vehicle, see if he can assess the type of damage that happened to the vehicle.
You, from this side where the vehicle is, so you're going sort of this way, and the vehicle is kind of like this, and it's kind of leaning towards the front like that. As you shine the spotlights from the Ox on the vehicle, the first thing you see is Weyland-Yutani emblems on the side of the vehicle, similar to what you have. On this side, there doesn't seem to be any damage. The door is open, which means you can see inside, but it appears as if the door was open to let the occupants out. On this side, you can't see any damage.
Is the vehicle itself blocking the way?
Yes.
Well, what do you all think of this?
Well, I mean, we can try and see if we can get it going. I mean, maybe we can just drive it out of the way.
Looks like it was abandoned.
I mean, yeah. Last time I checked, robots don't care about the cold. No offense, Doc.
Ouch, that hurts.
Not you. They're not a doctor.
You should know, Doctor, the only time he calls me doctor is when he is insulting me.
No, that's not true.
That is fair. I just, I'm still needing a little bit more caffeine to wake me up.
Been
Bad for the
bit of a
heart.
day.
Well, we
That's
can't
it.
continue forward unless this thing is out of our way, so...
Well, all right. Well, shit. Fine. Hang on.
Wrench.
Wrench
do
like
what you do best.
Wrench climbs out. Woo! Man, it's colder than the witch's titty out here. Son of a bitch. And he shuts the door and he goes to like the front and like starts like grabbing the like the tow winch or whatever and just starts like walking it out, and you can hear him over comms. Man, kind of fucked up. I can fly. I can stick a needle in somebody's arm. I can look at a plant and go, ooh, it turned blue. But no, my ass is out here fucking moving the goddamn wrench.
You know, I don't work with plants. I'm a computer scientist, not a botanist.
Right, a robot. Anyway, so
Why did I agree to go here?
because you need to get paid.
Why
And
did you
probably
agree
made.
to come here? I've been wondering that since you woke up.
Indeed, so have I.
Well, robots are computers, and I am a computer scientist. So if the reason they are offline is because they are a computer, then I can fix them. Seems easy enough.
There are a lot of computers out there that need fixing. Why choose this hellish landscape?
I don't get to decide where I am sent.
I'm sure someone with your stature has some sort of influence.
Maybe.
Y'all, we can cut that tension with a knife, all right? I'm just throwing that out there. Work out
Please fix the equipment.
I am.
Thank
All right, fucking Firebird, fucking goddamn. All right, put it on the gas, ease it back.
Give me a heavy machinery roll.
Me or him?
You.
Okay.
You're the one who set it up.
Ooh, I have 8 whole dice for this. And a single stress die, because the computer nerd is freaking me out. That is 3 successes.
You manage to wrap the winch well enough around a solid part of the other vehicle, and as the winch starts pulling it, you hear the metal grinding against metal as it kind of starts pulling it out of the way. As it does, you notice that the front wheel basically has been completely damaged. Give me a observation roll.
Okay. Observation. Oh, that's wits. That and no successes.
All right. You can clearly see that there's been some damage done to the front of the vehicle. The wheel itself, which really is almost indestructible, is completely destroyed and sort of shredded. It doesn't look like lacerations. I know what you're thinking. It doesn't look like lacerations. It looks like it's been melted, basically. And it kind of fused into the wheel well and kind of crashed the entire front end of the vehicle, which is why it couldn't move forward.
Like something heated it up, or like mechanical failure?
Like something external heated it up, yeah.
So, it looks like the wheel well here is melted. not from inside, but from outside. And I don't think there's anything that hot on this planet. So I'm just saying.
What are you saying?
That it was intentional. It wasn't like they hit a rock and like the transaxle blew and they kind of like came to a stop and or whatever, right? Like someone actually or something, probably them, one of them. Okay, so question, do robots like just go, let's destroy stuff?
Mr. McMasters, please just get it running and I will run a diagnostics.
Well, that's the problem. It won't run. It's broke to dead. It is 100% melted and I can't do nothing with it. We can tow it out of the way, but that's about it. I mean, we're not going to get this thing moving.
That's probably your best bet, is to get that thing moved out the way so we can continue on. If you are telling us that something just messed that thing up, I don't want to be around to see what caused it.
No, it looks like a welding job kind of gone bad, if you ask me. But the only people that were supposed to be here are two true robots.
Exactly.
But they wouldn't mess that up, right?
You sure about that?
Bleak, do I have access to the ship's servers through my PDA?
Yeah, sure.
Could I do, while we're like hitching and trying to pull this, can I just scour the database for any similar incidences like this where potentially frozen planets have experienced similar technicalities?
There's nothing that comes up that makes you go, oh yeah, this is definitely the same thing.
Okay.
Like it seems to be a fairly isolated thing.
Okay. Well, this is new. I don't see anything in the database of a similar incident on other planets.
You sure about that? Sure there isn't some other files that may be hidden away that you can't get access to?
Sounds like a question of clearance.
Norris will attach it to the hitch. We'll start dragging that out.
All right, and he does. He starts. So cold.
With a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, you manage to move it out of the way enough that you can roll on through. It's slowed you down maybe about 45 minutes or so. You continue going up this man-made metal tunnel, basically. And it keeps climbing up and keeps climbing up and keeps climbing up. And eventually you pop out. And to your great surprise, as you emerged from the tunnel, you see below you this beautiful green sunny valley. The sky above is this strange reddish cloud, but below it, you see grass, you see a waterfall, there's a little lake that comes down. The temperature is balmy. There is below you the terraforming station itself, which is highly industrial and consists of 4 giant Emir terraforming units that are partially embedded in the ground and kind of stick out a little bit. And you can see the sort of residential communications area. There is the area around here looks like you've just popped out in, a tropical area, like a tropical forest almost. You can go to the map on Owlbear. You have popped out behind here, behind this lake. Below you, you see the 4 Emir units, which are these 4 things here, that are currently don't seem to be functioning. You can see a power generator over here. There's a water transformation station over here. Out here is the sort of residential area. You can see the comm shack unit. You can see a laboratory, some supply sheds and maintenance sheds, as well as a sort of residential block over here. But everywhere is green grass. The water looks beautiful, blue clear, and the temperature reads a nice and comfortable 25 degrees Celsius.
Looking through the systems, are we able to see that how the air contents and if it's breathable?
As you go through and scan that, it comes back very good, actually. Not quite as good as Earth in its heyday, but definitely breathable and definitely able to support human life.
All right, everybody. So here's what's up. You can take off your helmets. The air's breathable, so you're not sweating and dehydrating, and I have to tap an IV into your arm just so that way I can get you rehydrated. So please get comfortable. I don't know how long we're going to be here, but drink water, and then I'll walk over to the nearest water area, lake or something, and just do a quick scan of that just to verify that's safe to drink or not.
You run some tests. Water looks perfectly fine, perfectly safe.
No, you're good to drink the water as well. So at that point, I'm gonna start shedding everything out. I'll still have a gray shirt with a green jacket on, and then some brown tan tactical pants as well. You also see on my right side is where my little pistol is, and then I'll shoulder my backpack full of all my med stuff.
What do you do?
Is there a specific place that looks like, I suppose, the command center?
Yeah, so if you look at the red building with the satellite dish basically on the roof, that would be the comms tower.
All right. Well, I guess we'll roll down the windows and
you can't
take our
drive
helmets
down
off.
there. You're going to have to hoof it.
Oof.
There's from where you are, what you can see, there's no clear path down with the vehicle.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll at least turn the vehicle in case we have to go back up the tunnel. We don't have to go in reverse. So I'll just kind of do that positioning now, and then lower the rear hatch for us to disembark.
You gather all your equipment that you think you'll need. You leave the suits behind, I assume?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll start heading and climbing down. I will say at this point that normally your stress level would have gone down. So I will say this: if you feel your character would be freaked out by what you're seeing, then you can keep the stress point. But if you think you're just oh, wait, nice, they've managed to terraform this corner of the universe, that's awesome, then I'll say you can erase a stress point. And as you're going down, I will ask each of you to make a mobility roll. So you'll roll your agility and your mobility to climb down with all your gear and your pack. Selfie can help. She's along with you and she can help. She's pretty strong.
Two successes.
Good. 1 and 0. The big 0. Would you like to push your roll? If you push your roll, you can re-roll all the dice that fail at the cost of a stress point.
Yeah, I'll push it. Why not? Let's just go for it. Go for broke.
You should, by the way, the stress die that you're getting from pushing, you should add it to this roll.
At this point, I have 1 success. It is my stress die that had the success.
All right, that's good enough. All of you managed to clamber down. There is kind of a sort of set of natural steps that kind of lead down. So you're not actually like rock climbing kind of your way down. But you make it down. When you approach the top of the map there, as you come down and sort of take a look at that, over in this area, there's a strange sort of sculpture. It comes out of the ground and it looks as if it would be a giant's hand. Like it's about 40, 50 feet tall, but you can see fingers that kind of come out of the ground. One of them is broken and the finger's on the ground and there's like some debris around it. But it's kind of like there's a giant hand that's buried underground here that kind of sticks out like this of the ground. It looks fairly humanoid, 5 digits. Very human-like, but it's ginormous.
Was that sculpture in the report given to us?
Yeah.
Like, so we knew that was
here.
there.
This was here when they came here. One of the first places they dug to try and put an Emir unit was there, and they discovered this, and they were like, okay, let's just not fucking touch this.
Right. So the fact that it's broken is the important part. Okay.
I think Wrench honestly is gonna wander off. Not gonna lie. He's like,
tell me where you want to go. You can go wherever you want.
Is there a maintenance shack?
Yeah. So up over, let me put the other map up.
Okay.
So on this map, so over here is the comms unit.
Yep.
There's a truck there. And then there's a mess hall, there's a lab, a residential unit, and then these two supply would be like the sort of maintenance.
Okay. He's looking. He doesn't know a lot about.
You could also just go straight to an Emir unit if you wanted.
Well, his whole thing that he's looking at is he doesn't have a whole lot of details on what's wrong other than they're broke, right? So he's hoping he can find, like, he's not super great with computers, but he does know how to run a diagnostic kind of thing. And so his whole thing is to run a diagnostic and wait for this pressure valve is cracked here and these hoses are leaking here and this is that. So he knows what to all gather to go start making the repairs. Cause he's very like, I'm here for a job. That's great. It's a hand statue. Awesome. I've seen half a dozen of them across half a dozen worlds. Like, just want to get fixed so I can get paid.
Yeah. So you would know that each of the Emir units would have one such sort of control unit. So pick one and go there, basically.
All right. He'll go to that first one that's right there by the area there.
All right. So you go there. Who goes where?
Hector's heading to comms.
Yeah, I think Cliff would go into the lab to see if there's any computer backups for the robots that they could try to get going.
Excellent. And Doctor?
I'm going to just be checking the supplies just to verify that in the event that we need to something comes up, I'd rather have more medical supplies than less.
Excellent. All right. Start with you, Kurt. You find your way to one of the Emir units. One of the reasons you were sent is because you know these units, you've repaired them before on other planets. You know that the ones they installed here are a little different. They had to be modified to operate from underground and so on and so forth. You approach the first one. So basically the way you know that these systems work is that there's 4 different units. One is what's called a frost forge generator. What this thing does is that it harnesses the planet's frigid atmosphere and it converts it into coolant that can be pumped through networks of subterranean pipes to regulate surface temperature. You know, there's an atmosphere scrubber, which filters noxious gases from the atmosphere and extracts pollutants and purifies the air. There's a glacier reformer, which is designed to melt the planet's vast glacier and ice caps, releasing stored water vapor into the atmosphere to create oceans and lakes. And then there's a biomass cultivator, which is tasked with seeding the barren soil of 84 with synthetically modified organism capable of thriving in the harsh environment. Okay.
Right.
So you know that there's these 4 units. All right. The one that you're looking at right now as you approach is the atmosphere scrubber. As you approach it, rising like a giant spire from the icy plains, the atmosphere scrubber looms over you, its intricate lattice of metalwork stretching high into the toxic skies above. Its rotating turbines emit a low rhythmic hum as they tirelessly scrub the tainted air, striving to restore a semblance of purity to the planet's toxic atmosphere, or they would. If they were running, right now the unit is completely inert. You can see some lights, some things blinking that indicate that there is in fact power, but the unit itself is not working. You go into the maintenance.
Yep, sure do. Open up the maintenance terminal and see if it reads back as there's a clog or something along those lines, or something that's causing it not to actually run the way that it's supposed to.
So go ahead and give me a CommTech roll.
All right. 1 success.
So you run several diagnostics. You run tests, simulations, things of that nature. The first thing you notice that the unit should be able to work. Like there's nothing wrong with the unit. There's no warnings. There's nothing. Everything seems to be in working order. However, as you start rooting through it and kind of go through the logs and sort of everything else, you notice something kind of odd. You notice that this atmosphere scrubber appears to be reconfigured, not to clean and filter the air, but in fact to pollute it and render it noxious. It's set to do the exact opposite than what it's supposed to do.
I'm gonna fix that.
When you start digging into it, you realize that this is not new. This is always how it has operated for the last several years.
Hey, Hector, you're the closest guy in charge.
Before you make that call, because some time has gone by, so let me go to everybody and kind of get everyone situated, and then you can make your call to Hector.
Yep.
Doctor, you approach the maintenance shed. The first thing you notice as you approach is that the door is wide open, the first one. When you get close to it, give me an observation roll.
Just a straight observation roll, no
It's observation
skill.
plus your wits.
Fantastic. Do you want me to add a stress die to that too?
Yeah, if you have stress, you always add your stress dice to it.
Sweet. And then let's see what we get. I got 1 success.
You notice that the door was wrenched open. The lock was ripped out, and the door itself was wrenched open with a quite considerable amount of force.
At that point, I'm going to grab my pistol and bring it up, and then start to go in while having it at the high ready. As I'm going inside very slowly. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think anything's going to go on, but I'm still just I'm going to go check on through.
You move in. The shed itself is pretty big. You can imagine like a very large garage, basically. 2 floors up. It's very dark in here. There's just a little bit of light that's kind of filtering in through some windows at the very top of the place. You can see there's a lighting system in there, but everything's turned off right now. As you move in, you start realizing that the place has kind of been ransacked where, cupboards are open, drawers are open, things are on the ground, tarps have been removed. There's clearly things that are missing. You're in kind of a maintenance shed, so a lot of what's missing are like tools and things of that nature. But the place has clearly been ransacked. Can you go ahead and give me another observation roll?
Absolutely. I have 1 success.
As you step forward further into the shed, you notice on the ground what appears to be a trail of blood. You see what looks like a splatter pattern, as if someone had been standing somewhere and then got hit and injured somehow. There's kind of like a splatter pattern. And then it looks like the body fell on the ground and was dragged off. And you can see the trail of blood that goes on all the way to where there are a bunch of scaffolds with stuff on them, and it kind of drags it off behind there.
I'm going to pull my pistol up and slowly back away. As I do, I'm going to activate my comm system and say, "We are not alone. Enemy somewhere around here."
Meanwhile, over in the laboratory,
Yes.
Cliff, you come up to the laboratory. You press in your credentials, or you type in your thing or put in your hand palm, and then the thing comes back with access denied. I'm also going to say that Delphi's with you. I think Delphi would have gone with you.
Okay. I think I'm gonna try just one time to try to just hack into the system with my PDA. Just
So
try
go
to
ahead
override.
and give me a comm tech. You can add a die for your PDA, personal or public display of affection.
Two successes. I'm willing to push it.
No, you're good.
Okay.
All you need is one. You hack into it. As you hack into it, you realize that it's basically the controls of it have been overridden.
Okay.
Already, basically to block access from anyone. So it wasn't a question of your credentials. You managed to click it open. You walk into it. As you walk into it, you notice that the entire place has been destroyed. Someone came in here and took some sort of blunt object to everything. Computers are smashed. Glass vials are destroyed. Everything has just been completely pulverized and destroyed. And you can see that there was an attempt to set fire to the place, but the fire extinguisher system kicked on.
Right.
And you can see residue of the foam sort of everywhere.
Delphi.
This is odd.
This is interesting. Let's try to collect anything that looks viable. I will try to see if I can get hard drives out of these computers, and then we'll plug it in somewhere. and Cliff will go and try to like get hard drives out of the computers to see if there's anything, any data they can get off of them.
You go over to the computers, you start futzing around with them. You realize they've been very thoroughly damaged. However, you notice something a little odd. On one of the tables in the main area where there used to be some sort of glass containment unit kind of thing, which has been completely smashed. You notice a strange residue, this black liquid that looks kind of like oil. And it's just, there's like a few pearls of it dotted on the countertop, and then some of it has been dripping on the ground.
Delphi,
Yes, Doctor.
that liquid there, I don't recognize it. Do you?
I don't either. She comes over, bends down, looks at it, reaches out with a finger, picks some up. It's very interesting. It's kind of like mercury in some ways. And she shows you she's got some on her finger, and it's not spilling or anything. The little bubbles stay little bubbles.
Staying spherical, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Good surface tension. Never seen anything like that. We should collect it. And then I would assume I would have like a little something in my pocket. I could try to, like a test tube or something I could.
Yeah, no problem. So you'll start picking some of that up when a call will come on the radio. But meanwhile, in the comm shack, Captain, you walk into the comm shack. Everything looks all right. The first thing you notice is that the armory locker appears to be open.
Have the contents been taken?
There appears to be one weapon, one rifle missing.
What else is in here? Is there more rifles?
Yeah.
I will take one.
No problem.
Anything else in this armory? Grenades? Any
No,
masks?
there's not. It's not an armory per se. It's really just kind of like a gun locker that's
Okay.
in the like the security area of the thing, and then next to it you got like the command control with the computers and everything else.
Okay. All right, Hector, we'll continue to search this, all the different consoles and whatnot.
Go ahead and give me a comm tech roll.
No successes. I mean, I could push.
Would you like to?
Sure. I'll try one. Why not?
Why not? Pick up one of stress and add a stress die to your roll.
Nope.
You kind of do a cursory examination of the area. Nothing seems to be damaged. The computers are closed. They appear to be locked. You can't access them. And your rudimentary knowledge of Comtech doesn't allow you to.
I have a Sexton system diagnostic device, which allows me to troubleshoot computers.
Okay.
Could I plug that in?
Yeah.
Just in case I can't figure it out on first glance. I'm like, oh, crap. And bust out the device. Glad no one's here to watch this.
You plug that thing in, it sort of whirls and beeps around for a little bit. Eventually, it sort of beeps, and you can see the computer screens around you flare to life. As they do, you see a video start to play. find my information. When you play the video, you see, as you can see on screen, a whole bunch of numbers and symbols pop up. That plays for a little while. On the tail end of that, the image sort of shifts a little bit. And then you see security footage from inside the comm shack. You see Prima, one of the androids, is at one of the computers. And then you see her turn suddenly and look over her shoulder. You see behind her, the other android, Calvert, comes running into the security shack. He looks very alarmed. He rushes over to the weapons cabinet. He opens it up, starts to unlock it. Then appearing behind him is Wrench, Kurt's character, who comes up behind the android, and he's got this heavy spanner, and he hits the android in the back of the head with it. The android falls to his knees. Prima rushes. She gets up from her seat. She rushes Wrench. As she gets to him, he turns around and he hits her with the spanner right in the face. She crumples to the floor. Meanwhile, the other android, Calvert, has turned around with the gun. He shoots. He hits Wrench. Wrench turns around and runs out. The video goes dead.
What's the time code on the video? Is there a timestamp?
Several weeks ago. The numbers and symbols that you saw play again. And then after a moment that cuts. You see again a breakdown in the video, and then you see Prima again appear, the first android that you saw. She is naked. She appears to be covered in blood. She walks calmly to the controls. She starts typing in things. Then at some point, it's like she hears something again. She looks over her shoulder and she rushes out. The video dies. When that does, you hear a voice in the command center. You know that this is NRS, the Acheron computer system, or NURSE. NURSE says, to continue, please confirm self-destruct sequence. Final initiation key required. Please confirm self-destruct sequence. Final initiation key required. And you see that the self-destruct protocol had been activated but incomplete.
And the video. Oh, okay.
No, go ahead. I'll give you a response. Go for it.
Well, all right. Rightfully, he's quite flabbergasted. Can I save this video like on a drive, on a PDA or something, or like
Yep.
I was like, okay, we're gonna have to save this. So he's instantly going to be like, oh shit. And then when he hears the self-destruct, he's definitely going, oh shit. There is no time. Well, what about the bloody android Prima? When was that? When was that video?
So that was about 24 hours after the first one.
That was several weeks ago.
Yeah.
Can I tell how long the self-destruct sequence has been active?
Since that moment.
Since that moment.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that that's what she was doing when she was interrupted.
Got it. Okay, well then he will definitely like grip onto his assault rifle or whatever rifle he just got from the armory as the noise, the comm or whatever comes up.
And then the comm comes up and it's Wrench.
Hey, yo, so like they seem to have set the atmospheric processor to work backwards, and it's never actually been set the correct way. You know what the hell that's about?
As you hear the sound of his voice, you take a point of stress, Adrian.
Wrench, where are you?
I'm at the atmosphere processor. Where are you?
I'm going to need you to report to the comms immediately.
Report to comms? Get the
Yes,
fuck out of here.
I
What are you
need your
talking about?
help.
What'd you do? What'd you break?
Something is broken. I need you to take a look at it. You know I'm not good with computers.
I'm not the computer guy.
Yeah, but you kick things and they work, so come on.
Listen, the mechanic's touch only works on mechanical things. If you need the computers fixed, go get Cliff. That's what they do. They fix computers. I just mostly break them.
He is correct on that one.
Hey?
And as that goes on the air, you hear the doctor's voice come onto the comms.
Hey, I don't think we're alone here. We possibly have some enemies somewhere around here. I just found some blood and I'm slowly backing away. Where are you guys located at right now?
I'm at processor 1.
I'm in the laboratory.
I'm in comms. It looks like someone has opened up the armory and took out a weapon, so if we're not alone, they may be armed.
Well, that explains what I've seen here. Someone definitely is using those weapons. So I'll go ahead and link up with Wrench then. I think he might be the closest one to me.
Wait, we're the only ones here. What are you talking? Minus a couple of robots.
We are not the only ones here.
Well, and y'all just let me wander off on my own? What the hell?
If you want to explain like the blood splatter and what looks to be trail of blood, then yeah, you can. If you can explain that away from me, that'd be great. Otherwise,
is it red or does it look like milk? Because if it looks like milk, ain't no worse crying over spilt milk. But if it's red, then that's a problem.
Hey, Ben, did you find a body or did you just find the blood?
I just found the blood. It's leading into this big area that's a whole lot of no for me. So, and at this point, like I'm going to slowly start stepping out. So it's going to sound a little bit more open, if you will. As I will be like, yeah, no, there's no body that I've seen. I'm not going any further without anybody else.
As you step outside of the building and say these things, you hear from somewhere, it's very hard to tell where, there is a woman's voice that screams this weird sort of very guttural, sort of painful howl, and it's kind of carried on the wind and it resonates throughout, and all of you hear it through the comms. And I'm going to say everyone except Adrian gets a point of stress at this point. Adrian's already got one. There's this kind of I also want to say the Scottish Jeff donating 3 bits or 300 bits earlier, so each have an advantage.
Nice.
Thank you very much, Scottish Jeff.
Thank you.
What did you do?
Cliff, did you stub your toe?
Are you okay, Doctor?
I'm fine. I'm incredibly scared right now. I will be very frank with you all. I think it's best that we get somewhere together because being separate is probably not our best bet at the moment.
Maybe we meet at comms.
What? Why does everybody want to go to comms, man? Like,
Because there's guns here.
oh, well, that changes things. You could have led with that. All right.
Yeah, okay. I think at least all of us having some sort of weapon would probably be best right now. And at that point, you're gonna like hear me knocking on the door to the comms room, Phoenix.
Okay, and as the knocking's coming and like as people are like getting to the door, I'm gonna get the video ready. So whenever the door opens, like, come on in. Got something to show you. Come on. And take him to the armory. The little cabinet.
Yeah.
And them all a weapon. But except when Wrench gets there.
Well, yeah. So first of all, the doctor's going to get there and you can equip the doctor. I'm assuming, Cliff, you're also going?
Yeah, I think I'm closer than Wrench, so
Yeah, so
Delphi
you and
I
Delphi
will that way.
will show up. Wrench, as you leave the unit where you were at and start heading to cross the little river thing to head towards the comm shack, you notice movement over to the right and off into one of the those big buildings that's near the bottom of the waterfall. You see someone, and it looks like someone naked, run into the building.
Hey, y'all. Don't mean to burst your bubbles, and I know y'all having a little get-together there that I'm kind of late for, but I think I just saw a naked person run into the shack by the waterfall.
Wrench, just get over here.
Naked person running around?
Now's not the time.
What have you been smoking?
Well, I mean, I ain't smoked since we hit landfall. I mean, you know me, job first, but I'm not joking. Like, the naked person just ran in there.
Are there any cameras in this facility, like security cameras that I could check, like towards the waterfall? Like, are there any?
Yeah, there are. By the way, just so you know, you're frozen right now, your camera, Adrian. I don't know what that's all about. Kurt, you also got from Raven Sarah a hail, which means you get another advantage, Kurt. So for when
they all try and shoot me because of Dr. They all tried to shoot me. Got it. All right.
No, never. We would do that. It's just,
You start cycling through the video cameras, the security cameras. You see Wrench outside looking towards one of the buildings. One of the things you notice is that the only cameras that are left functioning are the ones that are outside. All the ones that are inside the other buildings are currently not working.
All right. And who's in the comms building?
Right now, just the three of you, well, four with Delphi. Wrench is on his way.
Okay. Well, before Wrench arrives, I will play the video.
What are you talking about?
Watch this.
What video?
Look at this.
He plays the video, and as it did the first time, it starts with a series of numbers and strange symbols that fill the screen. You need me to go back through the video. You see Prima at the controls. She turns. Calvert appears. Behind her, he seems alarmed, rushes to the weapon cabinet, begins to unlock it. Wrench appears behind him, striking him down with a heavy spanner. Prima rushes him. He bashes her in the face. She drops. Then Calvert has a gun, and he shoots Wrench, who turns and runs. The video goes dead. You get, again, a brief flash on screen of the series of characters and numbers that went by earlier. I'll tell you what comes after this, but when that happens, something else happens. After this, the video cuts. Prima appears naked, covered in blood. She walks calmly to the controls. She's preparing to self-destruct. Then suddenly she's interrupted. She turns. She runs towards something, and the video dies. When that second series of shifts of numbers and symbols appears, Jacqueline, right? Okay. You feel like that's the missing sequence.
Yeah, I think up until that point, Cliff has been very kind of like stoic and just observing. And when that happens, it's like a whole different mode of person comes out. They immediately like take a seat and pull out their PDA, and they're like looking at the screen and looking down and like just like this very quick, like trying to get as much as they can down. And then they're like plugging in their PDA and they're downloading things, and tons of other symbols pop up. They just take over the computer system, and another set of symbols come up that look very similar to those, and they're like trying to put stuff together, and then they open up another program and those symbols show up in that program, and they're like moving those symbols around, and they just kind of jump into
Miko, if you have the other message video ready, you could play it.
Hey, Cliff, what exactly are you
Justin,
doing right
hold
now?
on, Justin. Something's about to happen
gotcha.
to you, my friend.
Oh, shit.
boy.
Okay, yeah, don't worry about it. All right. So if you're looking at the PDA that Cliff has, there is another strange sort of message that's similar with the same numbers and symbols, except there's like a square, there's like a grid, and it's all graded, and it's mostly filled out, but there's a few spaces that are missing. Okay. And that's what they're kind of copying down, is trying to fill out those missing spots with the numbers and whatnot that they see going on. When you see the series of numbers, Doctor, you immediately get a flashback, a memory comes back to you. You remember entering the airlock. You remember pushing through with your unit. You remember entering a command center, and on the wall, numbers and symbols very similar to these were playing. And then you remember something wet hitting the side of your face, and then something else again. And when you turn, you see one of your companions, most of their head missing, blood shooting out of the savage throat and face, just spraying you with it. And in a moment, the body of this friend of yours looks at you with its one good eye left and is hauled up into the rafters. And all you see is this strange, dark alien form of an elongated head and a long, curved spike tail that is dragging your friend up into the rafters. And then you scream and you turn and you run. I'm going to ask you, Justin, to take a point of stress and then give me a stress roll.
All 3 stress. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're going to roll d6 and add 3 to it.
Oh, just a d6 and then add a 3.
Add 3, yeah.
Okay. So rolling a d6. That's a 6, so 9 total.
All right. As you relive this memory, which you had forgotten, it was completely gone from your memory. You sit there for a moment, and I'm going to say, Captain, you see him as Cliff is working on their computer. You see Ramos, for a moment, look like he understands something. And then his eyes just kind of sink into his head. And you can see deep-seated panic that comes in. And you recognize, like, survivor stress. And you can see that this is grabbing him, and it's got a hold of him. And Doctor, you start to panic. You relive this memory. You are in that moment. There's blood leaking all the side of your face. You see this creature's up in the rafter. You are losing it.
Hector will approach Ben and put his hands on both of his shoulders. Hey, and it would like put him up against the wall while still holding him on his shoulders. Like, look at me. Hey, come back.
Out of that panic, you're gonna get, like, I'm pulling the trigger. You're probably gonna get a shot in the stomach.
Let's do this.
All right. So if you think that that's what you do, go ahead. Pull that trigger, my friend.
I hope. I just want to make sure, Adrian, you're cool with me doing this.
Yeah. Hey, that's a natural reaction. That's perfectly fine. That's what panic is for.
For sure. All right. Cool.
So go ahead and roll your range combat plus agility. And you're going to add your 3 panic dice to that. Remember to tell me if your panic dice come up once.
Okay. So I'm gonna roll the I got one panic die that is a 1. And then my other 3 dice I'm gonna roll. No successes.
Add a dice to your...
Oh, that's right. I do have the...
You have an advantage.
You have another advantage, by the way. Kurt threw down some bits. You, I think I'll have 2 advantages and Kurt has 3. So I will let you, advantage will give you 2 extra dice, so you can roll 2 extra dice if you want.
All right, bet.
But advantage is optional, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean,
it's okay. I failed it, so it's cool. We're gonna go with this.
So
There's the universe is saying we're doing this.
But unfortunately for you, because you rolled a 1 on your panic dice, this means you get to add 1 panic. You go up to 4, and then you have to make another panic roll.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, shit.
So
1d6 plus
roll-
4.
yeah.
That's going to be 6.
6. All right. So if you are still affected by panic, make another panic roll. The effect of a new panic roll replaces the effect of the last one. If the new roll is lower than the prior, the new effect is 1 step higher on the table. So you go to 10 on it. You basically like become catatonic. You shoot the gun, you drop it, and then you're just like shaking and lost in your head. And the panic has completely filled you out at this point. You are, Hector is leaning and talking to you, and all you're seeing is him with half his face missing and blood dripping down. And you're seeing this creature up in the rafters behind him. Wrench,
Okay.
you show up just as this is happening. Were you still going to the comms, or were you going to do something else?
I was going to comms. I'm like
Okay.
100% going to comms.
You open the door. You see that Cliff is hunched over the computer, just going crazy on it. There's numbers flashing on the fucking screen in front of you. You hear a gunshot. You open the door just as the gun goes off. You see Hector holding on to the doctor. And you see him kind of like back up, and you see the doctor drop his gun, and you recognize this. The doctor hits the ground, and he's like catatonic with panic and with fear. At this point, he's just completely freaking out. Let's go around the table and see what you want to do. We'll start with Hector. What would you like to do?
Well, having a gun go off like right by my head, Hector's going to continue to like follow Ben down and to make sure and just kind of like put his hands on his shoulders, and now is just kind of like holding him in place, like just really subduing him at this moment.
Okay. I'm going to say you take a point of stress because you've just been shot at.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
you can, if you want, try to make a command roll to try to talk Ben down from his panic.
Ooh, that's empathy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's worth a try. Yeah, I have an advantage. I'll give it a whirl.
Okay. Wrench, what are you going to do? You walk in, you see Hector like dragging Ben down and like, kind of, get a hold of yourself, get a hold. I don't know what he's going to tell him. He's going to tell us in a second, but.
I leave y'all alone for 5 minutes? What's the matter with you? This is why eggheads don't go on repair jobs. What's the matter with all the... What? Doc, do no harm. Hector, what are you doing?
It's like,
Cliff, are you actually plugged into that thing?
Hector, what did you get on your roll? Are you using advantage, Hector?
no, I only had 2 on empathy, but I rolled 2 6s. So,
Oh, excellent.
yeah. So it's just like, calm
Right.
down.
So,
Okay.
you... So it's going to take a slow action, right? So you start talking Ben down. You're telling him, tell me what you tell him.
I'm just like, look, it's okay. Just breathe. Breathe. Relax. Focus on your breathing. Focus on your breathing.
Cliff, as you're working, you hear the gunshot behind you. One of the computer screens in front of you shatters as the bullet goes right through it and totally destroys the screen. Sparks fly, the whole 9 yards. You take a point of stress. What do you do?
I think I don't think the gunshot sound is what pulls them out of it. I think it's the screen exploding. Like, I think that if the screen hadn't exploded, they would have just stayed, like, zoned out. And so the symbols go away and they kind of pull out of it and they wheel around and they see the doctor just full on panic. And they're going to run up to the doctor's backpack and try to grab a calming syringe of some kind, see if they can get some of the stress down. I think that's like going through the back. I know there's something in there. There's got to be something in here, and tries to grab for.
All right, excellent. I've also, you'll see if you want, you can look at the map to get an idea of what the command center looks like and where everyone is. at this particular point. Wrench, what do you do aside from talk-wise when you come in and you see all this?
I think he's like, does the scene feel as though it's in hand?
I mean,
So here's
feels like it could go either way.
So the reason I'm asking is because a natural talent that all roughnecks have is the long haul, which makes it incredibly hard for them to panic, right? So like it's that whole they've flown from one side of the galaxy to the other and they've seen a lot of crazy stuff, right? So is this he's viewing it as a like, okay, great, their first time out and they're losing their shit, or is this oh no, there's something actually wrong here kind of situation, you know what I mean? Like it's different, when your kids freak out the first time that they see a semi truck on the freeway versus like an actual train hitting something. That was a bad.
You think there's a little bit more than that going on? Like
okay, cool, all right. He very much kind of like, all right, everybody, y'all need to calm down. Like what is going on? Oh, that you giving them the good stuff. And he comes over and he will 100% try and get Hector off of Ben and just kind of get them separated, as this looks as though this is the actual problem.
Get your goddamn hands off me. And he will like push him back and be like, have you been here before?
Not to my recollection. And no, I will not. You're hurting the doctor over there.
I'm trying to get the fuck back.
No.
Cliff,
Powerful word.
Play the video.
Are you still approaching Cliff with the syringe?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to grab it out of the doctor's backpack. So I think.
Okay.
All right.
So
right behind.
Doctor, like your stress level has gone down. Like Hector has talked you down a little bit, so you're able to function now. So you're gonna lose 1 stress point.
But I'm sitting at 9, correct?
No, sorry. You were at 4, I think. So you're back at 3. 9 was just the number you would have rolled, basically. So you're
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you're down to 3. You've lost a point of stress. You're kind of getting control of yourself. You see Cliff is rooting through your bag. You see that Hector and Wrench are kind of going at it. You're not too sure what happened. You kind of got leftover remnants of the memory. The gun's on the floor. What would you like to do?
I'm going to reach over for my pistol, and then I'm going to I'm gonna grab my pistol back, and then seeing as they're going through my stuff, I will say, open the front zipper, top left side. There should be my meds to be able to help calm me down even more.
Oh, okay, I see it, and I grab it and hand it to you.
You'll see as I like pop them in, take a sip out of my little thing, and I'll just like take a few more breathers before I'll look up to you and be like, you know a lot more than what you're letting on, don't you? I've seen those before.
Seen what before?
You have, Doctor. I think there's a lot more going on here than even I know.
The one thing you do know now, Cliff, is that there's 1 set of numbers missing. 1 set of numbers and symbols missing. But you've filled out a little bit more of your thing.
I have work to do. And then I immediately take all the hard drives that are in my pocket and I just start slamming them into computers and start just like going through data, hoping that those numbers are
that equipment's temperamental, like
Mr. McMasters, we do not have time for this right now.
You break it, you bought it, I ain't fixing it.
You killed 2 robots. I am not listening to you.
What now?
I'll raise my pistol up at you and be like, Wrench, buddy.
Raise the assault rifle as well.
Oh, okay. We're playing this game. All right, then. This sounds fun. What are y'all doing? Have y'all lost your minds? Because I'll help you find it.
Cliff, play the video, please.
Sure. And one of the computer screens, the video pops up.
Right. So you see the same video you saw before, all the numbers and all that. You see yourself, Wrench, coming in and attacking the two androids, getting gut shot, and then running out. And then you see Prima reappear, naked, covered in blood, walk into the control, activated, be interrupted, run out, and then all of you hear Nurse say, confirm self-destruct sequence. Final initiation key required. Confirm self-destruct sequence. Final initiation key required.
So, what happened, Wrench?
Well, obviously, that is some sort of conspiracy theory of some kind.
Show us your stomach real quick.
I mean, normally you gotta pay extra for that. You know that.
Mr. McMasters, you are in very deep shit right now. Cut
Go
it.
back to playing Tetris on your damn computer. And he literally lifts up his shirt, right? And his body is riddled with scars, right? A roughneck is a hard job. He's had broken ribs pop out of his skin. He's had the shit kicked out of him his whole life. So he's just like, what's this gonna do? Ain't nothing fresh, I guess. I don't know. What? What? Oh. Y'all are under the impression because you see something that vaguely looks like me on a grainy video that in fact must be me. Why don't you have computer whiz here, run some sort of facial recognition program or some dumb shit?
Wrench, that's your face on 4K.
Nah.
At 12K at this point,
We're on 24K right now, Wrench. That's your face.
Nah, ain't me. That ain't me. I know for a fact it ain't me.
Can I replay the video, pause it on a still of Wrench, and just literally zoom in and show
fucking Wrench in all his glory?
Question. I know myself. Does anything about that image? No, let me out, right? Does anything about that image of me look not me? Or, in this case, a younger version of me?
It's fucking... It's kind of unsettling. It's
Oh, all right, then.
Yeah, you're like, fuck, that's me.
Well, I got no answer for you. Though... Yeah, nope, I ain't got nothing for you. I just know it's not me. I was in cryo. Look at the date stamp. That should be your cue right there.
Well,
Took us at least 4 weeks to get out here.
This happened just before all of you got brought together at the ship.
So I ain't exactly a learned man, but I can tell you this much. It took us 6 weeks to get out here. This is dated 5 weeks ago. So it would in turn take 6 weeks to get back, right? So, I mean, last time I checked, we ain't got that faster than light yet. Hence the cryo beds. Just a thought. But, I mean, if pointing your guns at me feels better, then go ahead. That's all right. I'm the only one who can make the atmosphere breathable around here, and guess what? It's fucked up.
I think at this moment, Cliff is going to pull up Wrench's file onto the screen, because I'm going to assume that they have everybody's file, in their PDA, and just look for, timeline. Could there be a possibility? And I think they're just at this point doing it blatantly in front of everybody, just looking to see if there could possibly be an overlap.
Hey, you don't need to put my medical records up there like that. That ain't cool, man.
Hey, we're just gonna be cool. Wrench, if we figure this out, I promise you I'll get you more of the stuff you need without any payment.
All right.
Let's just figure things out. Let's be cool.
All right, go ahead. And he
If you need, Wrench, how are you feeling?
I'm fucking reaching into my goddamn bag right now is what I'm doing. And he does, he pulls, he pulls out this little flask and good. What? Y'all don't travel with booze?
Generally not, no.
Sucks to be you.
Well, that's why.
That's right, you got that medical grade shit. You just... Right there with the morphine, huh, Doc? Still got that problem too?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know, right? That's okay. All right, eggheads. Let's dissect the video.
I will ask you, Jacqueline, to
Yes.
go ahead and give me a ComTech roll.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remember to add your stress dice.
Right.
I also think Justin handed out some bits earlier, so everyone has an extra advantage for that if you didn't count it in. Thank you so much, Justin.
2 successes.
The file, you notice at some point around the time when a lot of you were brought together for this mission, you detect a slight anomaly, and when you dig into it, you find the telltale sign of the file having been altered in some way, shape, or form by Wraith, which is the sort of intelligence division of Weyland-Yutani. The back end of his file from around that time is basically comes from that office.
I think up until this point, Cliff has been sitting in a computer chair with their back to the group, like on the computer. Like the whole conversation has been coming with their back. They notice this anomaly, knowing instantly like what this means, and they wheel around 180 in their chair. Why?
Well?
Why is Wraith messing with your file, Mr.
Who?
Masters?
Who?
And none of you have ever heard of Wraith. You're like, what?
Who's
What
that?
is this?
There's a division that likes to dot their I's and cross their T's. Because sometimes, and they kind of make eye contact with Hector, sometimes things explode. And that's okay. We just dot our I's and cross our T's. And look back at Mr. McMasters. So why are they doing that for you?
I don't know.
I don't know if I believe you.
You know, I think that there's one thing that we can agree upon, Cliff, is you are overestimating my intelligence by a lot.
I will give you that.
I don't need your nods of approval, shitheads.
Something about you in this file, in
Right.
this video, there's something not adding up.
Yeah. Are you new to this company? I'm just asking for a friend, I guess.
No.
Okay, then you should know that working for this company, while the pay sucks and the hours are worse, you kind of at their whim, and they'll do whatever they want with you. I am a wrench turner. The name is Wrench for a reason. I fix shit. Fix shit that 9 times out of 10, one of you 3 broke. That is my job. That is what I do. I do nothing more and nothing less. I have had a stellar career of fixing shit and a stellar career of being passed over as foreman. So you know what? I'm just going to keep doing what I do. I'm going to go fix these processors now, and y'all continue to sit here and have your conspiracy theory meeting. Meanwhile, there's a naked person in the shed over by the fall, but none of y'all seem to care about that. Not one, even though I pointed it out a couple of times now. Christ almighty. Jesus, if there was a God, he'd be frowning at all of you. And he like walks out the door.
As Wrench walks out the door, Hector will look over towards beneath him, kind of looking at you, and then looking at your stash of morphine, and then looking over at our buddy.
gonna like meet your gaze before my eyes will move back over to where Wrench is at, and as he's leaving the door, I'm going to shoot him in the leg, going for the knee.
Go for it. So you're going to roll your ranged and your agility and your stress dice.
Yes. Let's go ahead and do that. That one.
You're
first.
using an advantage?
Yes. Yes, I will. Which is additional 2 dice.
Yep. And you're using your gun, which gives you a bonus of +2, so you get 2 more dice.
I'm gonna go ahead and take those 2 dice. Okay, so 1 success out of those, and then with my stress dice, I got a 1 and a 6.
Love this so much. All right. A whole bunch of things just happened now, all right? All right. So, did any stress dice come up a 1? Did any base or stress dice come a 6? Yes, you have succeed in your action. If you roll more than 1 6, you can spend extra 6s on stunts. All right. So you only got 1 6. You will hit McMasters in the leg. You will, McMasters, take 2 damage.
Question.
Yep.
Can I use my talent right now?
Which is?
Resilient. I make a strength roll, and for every 6 I get, I reduce the damage taken by 1 to a minimum of 0.
You can certainly go and do that.
It pays to be an android, doesn't it?
Right? So you're looking at 3 damage. You're looking at 3 damage.
3 damage, and I'm going to spend advantage to get 2 more dice.
Okay.
I don't know who I'm rooting for.
2 6s. I got 2 6s, so I still take a point of damage, but I negate 2 of the 3 points with my resilience.
Okay. Now, first off, Doctor, add a point of stress and do a stress check.
Okay.
Because you rolled a 1 on a stress die. So add 1 and then roll a d6 and roll your stress.
Alrighty, so rolling stress plus... Oh, sorry. There we go. So that's going to be 6 for my stress roll.
All right. So with a 6, you were fine. You resolve the action normally. However, as your bullet hits McMaster's leg, a huge gout of white liquid shoots out of his leg and splatters the floor and the wall all over in front of him as he falls down to his knees. My friends, when a person nearby is revealed to be an android, everyone has to do a stress test. So, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and say that the gunshot, him getting hit, adds a stress to everyone. And then go ahead and make your stress rolls.
That brings me up to 5 stresses, correct?
Yeah, the doctor is like, you don't have to make it, Kurt, because, well, actually, I guess, yeah, no, you don't because you're an android, so you don't take stress.
I have an 8.
I have a 9.
How does stress work? We roll the die.
Roll the die and add your stress.
Oh, I got a 7.
All right, my friends, all 3 of you start to panic as as you see McMasters go down and you see this white milky liquid shoot out of his leg and spread out all the way in front of him. All 3 of you lose your shit. Now, this is what I'm going to give you the opportunity to do. If you want, I'm going to give you the opportunity to spend one of your advantages to lower your stress roll by 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because I'm
Yeah.
holding a rifle and I will,
Right.
I will definitely reduce my
Well,
stress.
so let's see what happens. So what was your stress level? What did you roll, Jacqueline, the first time?
I rolled an 8.
Okay, that brings you to a 6, which means you're not going to panic.
Okay,
You need
yeah.
to
Then,
go down to a 6 not to panic. So you can spend 1 advantage to get 2 off your number. You need to get to a 6 to not panic. Is anyone panicking?
No, I'm still gonna panic. Yeah. I had a 9, so like bringing it down to.
You can spend 2 advantages if you want.
Then I'll spend those advantages and bring me down.
All right, so all of you like just sort of clamp down as you see this. You yourself are fucking surprised, McMasters, as you hit the ground and see all this white milky stuff pour out of your body. The 3 of you look at this and you fucking, and Delphi says, "Oh my."
I think McMasters in that moment, like, just kind of stands up looking at his leg, right? And, like, he just... That was a mistake.
No.
Glad I'm holding a gun, because
I don't like that. No, I don't like that.
And he opens the door and walks out.
Is there another exit out of here?
Yes, I would say no. There isn't actually. If you look at the map, there isn't. There's just the one.
You hear a clinging noise as the jack locks the door.
Oh,
And there are no windows here either, are there?
I would say there's probably windows on the 2nd floor. Yeah.
Cliff, do you have all the files and everything?
Cliff.
What was that?
I'm gonna like reach over and put my hands on your shoulder, same way that that Phoenix did to me. Like, hey, look, we compartmentalize that. We'll deal with that later. Right now, we need to get out of here.
In a box.
Here, take this, and I'm gonna pull out the same pain meds, or the same anxiety meds. Exactly, just like
placebo.
In a box. We'll do this later.
Okay. I don't quite have everything, but I think it's on one of these hard drives, and just starts putting stuff, pulling hard drives even out of these computers. Starts pulling stuff. Should we? Did anyone check if this is connected back to the ship?
I can check. I have a PRPUT uplink terminal, and I want to see if I can connect this terminal to the ship.
All right, give me 1 second. Insomnia Night, there's no difference between them in the core rulebook. So, Kurt, you get to add 3 points to any of your physical stats. You do not suffer stress, but you can't push rolls. No, it's all right. Insomnia, that's cool. There's no in Blade Runner. There's a difference between them, but not in Aliens. All right, so let's go around the table. Tell me what you're doing. We'll start with Doctor. You're doing what?
I'm going to post. I'm pretty much going to sit next to Cliff, and look over to Hector and be like, "Hey, if you can find us another way out, that'd be great. Any way can get us out, so we can hopefully beat him to the ship and get off this fucking planet."
Captain, what are you doing?
He is going to connect his uplink terminal to the main computer that doesn't have all the video stuff, and he's trying to uplink to the ship we landed on, the Archangel.
Mm-hmm.
And with this device, I can remote control the ship from here, and I want to make sure that our android friend doesn't get to the ship first.
Okay, cool. And Cliff?
I'm looking to see if I'm trying to get as much data off of these computers as I can. So I'm just pulling hard drives and stuffing them in a satchel and in my pockets. I know I don't have everything I need, but I have enough, I think, for now, and I can deal with that later. And I'm just pulling.
No problem. And Wrench?
I pull out my arc welder and I begin to weld the door shut.
You're working on that door. All right.
I'm fucking surgical with that thing.
So, Adrian, give me a contact roll. And Doctor, I'm sorry, Justin, remind me what you were doing. It's like 4 people ago and
no, you're good. I was pretty much just going to post up, but
you're going upstairs, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna head upstairs now because with them two working, I might as well go try and find us a way out of here. So if there are windows upstairs, I'm going for
Yeah,
them.
you go upstairs, and as you get to one of the windows and you try to see where he is, you can't see him, but you see the glare of his arc welder,
Mhm.
right? Because he's kind of under you, sort of thing. But you see the glare of his arc welder. But from where you are, as you get up there, you see coming up behind him Prima, the android, the missing android. She is naked again. Most of the blood has been washed off, and she's coming up behind Wrench.
I'm not worrying about that right now. I'm going to another window to see if there's a window facing towards where our stuff is.
Yeah,
But I will let out like I imagine the welder is a little loud, so I'm going to shout out to Cliff and Hector, hey, the other android's coming behind him. We may get a little help. I hope that buys you a little time, but we need to get up here and get out of here.
As you are, so what'd you get on your contact roll, Adrian?
I got 1 success.
Okay, so you managed to, I guess you want to shut down the ship, I guess, or make sure that it can't be accessed.
Right.
Is that what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
A second. You managed to do that. You managed to secure that. No problem. Outside, Kurt, you are welding away. You hear someone coming up behind you. And then you hear a voice that says, "The hell are you doing?
They shot me
Why?"
because they believe I killed somebody.
You did.
Not this one.
I saw you.
Not this one.
Do you want to see your body?
Yes.
She turns around, starts walking back towards the shed.
I just follow.
Justin, you're upstairs. You see the two of them leaving, walking away. Cliff, you are going through the stuff, picking up hard drives, fucking everything you can. And then you notice a couple of those black drops, like you saw in the laboratory. And then a couple more. Then a few more. Then a few more.
No.
What's wrong?
No. And then I will look up.
As you look up, you see coming down from the rafters behind the doctor this long white snake that's got a head like a fist. And as it's coming down right behind the doctor, you see the head open up like this, flaring out on either side.
I yell, "Doctor," like as loud as I possibly can to try to get his attention.
I will turn to face in that direction.
You turn, Doctor, and you're faced with that thing that you see on the screen. This white, milky white serpent. It's about, 6-7 feet long. Its tail, it's wrapped in the rafters. And it's kind of just hanging down, and it looks up at you, and it flares its head open. And for a second, you're reminded of that moment when you saw your friend so long ago get impaled and pulled up into the rafters.
Mm-hmm.
A mouth opens on this thing, and it shoots forward right for your face. And that, my friend, is where we will end for tonight.
Ah!
So good! Oh!
that, my friends, is where we will end tonight's little session of Alien.
Classic.
That was amazing.
Classic Bleak right there.